it's working. So I'm gonna do my live from the beach because I can and because my data is working. So yay! Okay, so let's continue this money conversation because I had a realization yesterday that was really interesting, and I shared on my stories. And I wanted to talk a little bit deeper about it. And I'm also really loving these money conversations a lot. So, and then there's like more things that are interconnected, which is really, really cool. So, yesterday I was trying to brainstorm and think of how ways I can bring this money conversation to you guys. What kind of questions I can ask you, and how can we bring this in a way that is fun, that is different, that is not just your typical here's some journal prompts, and how can I connect all the other things of what I know that I teach, that I guide with money. And so I started thinking about bringing in tarot, thinking about bringing in human design and astrology. And so then I started thinking, okay, so I know that the second house and also the sign, Taurus sign, has everything to do with materialistic possessions and money, one of the major themes. And so I'm well, is there a planet that talks about that? Because when you look at your birth chart, you want to look at what's under the second house. You also want to look at where Taurus falls in your chart, if Taurus does fall in your chart. And sometimes what happens is that there may not be a planet in your second house. There may not, Taurus may not even fall in that house either. And so that is I was trying to figure out, I'm okay, how can I also incorporate this? And in human design, there is a portion of human design that shows you which gates are under which planets. And so that's where I got the idea to try and figure out what planet. And so I couldn't find, none of the planets had actually the theme of money. Sagittarius had the theme of luck and fate, but not money. Not Sagittarius. The planet that rules Sagittarius. Oh my God, Jupiter. That's it. Jupiter was luck. And so yeah, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and that's why I got that confused. Okay. But there wasn't any planet. So then I researched and I was okay, but Jupiter rules Sagittarius. I'm okay, so what planet rules Taurus? And it was Venus. And I was oh my God, this is why money and love are interconnected, and why it's always been interconnected, and why when we talk about money, there is a correlation. So I am going to be using money and love interconnected. So self-love, love with yourself, love with others, love in your relationships, how you are in relationships. And we're going to dive into those topics because I find that is interesting. And then looking into human design, I was looking what gates I have my Venus under on my conscious chart and my subconscious, and it is so interesting of what that is saying in terms of what's it called, in terms of my human design, because it is my conscious gate is all about my self-worth, and that is my lack of self-worth, and feeling if I'm good enough. That is something that has always surfaced up in not only money but also love. And I have done a lot of research around love and relationships and also money. Those are those two, I've read books, those are the books I gravitate towards, the theme of in the self-help section. I always gravitate towards those more so. And researching, learning about the love languages, and just understanding relationships and all that stuff. And then so to dive deeper into human design, each gate is under a certain profile, and so you have the 6 profiles. And so in that, the profile that is corresponding to my Venus is actually profile 1, which is the investigator, and it's someone who loves to research and get as much information as possible. So this is why these topics intrigue me, and why I've done so much research around it and continue to learn more and more about it in terms of doing programs, reading books on it, and everything. And so this is kind of a way showing you of how my human design showcases how love and money kind of correlate into my life. And so we're going to dive into that, and I'm going to also look at your human design chart. We are going to get there together, and I am going to do it through my stories. So follow my stories, participate, answer the polls. It's fun, and yeah, we'll see where it all goes. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye.